It's a blessing to welcome on former Coastal Carolina star and now the newest member of Michigan, DeVante Jones. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Pretty good. Let's kind of go through this because you're going through a wild process. Just won Player of the Year in your conference. Now you decide to go declare for the NBA draft. Going to go through that process, and then you're going to head to Michigan for what could possibly be your final year of college basketball. But just take us through how you're feeling right now.
I'm blessed. Start just being blessed. I won't be in a position without God, so I just gotta give Him all the glory. But I just feel like everything just paying off. All the hard work. I've been overlooked since I was a kid. So I just use all that little negativity that I hear. I just use it as motivation or the chip on my shoulder. So just all the negativity I hear. I see it, but I don't say much. I just go in the gym and just grind. Just extra motivation, extra fuel to my fire. So I'm going through a crazy process, but I'm thankful. I'm at the top to complain about all the attention I'm getting. This is something I wanted, but I gotta learn how to be a professional. And how to ignore some stuff. So I'm just locked in Dallas with Tim Martin, probably the best trainer in my opinion. So I'm just getting some good work in. Just get ready for the draft process and then be ready to head to Michigan.
Now, in terms of Michigan, we're talking about everything else in a little bit too, but this is a huge move for you. And personally, like when I look at it, this is a perfect fit for you. Like I know a lot of people are saying this is the number one recruiting class. A few big returners are coming back. They're kind of missing like that point guard, shooting guard, like that guy that kind of fill a role of a couple guys that were leaving this past year. And you go in there, and you're going to fill that exactly. But take us to like this. Like, why do you feel this is the right place, fit wise? Why is this the best place, development wise? Like, why is Michigan where we be attending next year?
Um, well, when I first put my name in the portal, I didn't have no idea where I end up, but just a couple hours after, just talking to Juwan Howard, and just continuing that process just to build a relationship with him, it turned out great. Just looking at their roster, France leaving, Livers leaving, you got Mike leaving at the one spot. So I just felt like me coming in, just playing with those talented guys, man. I just knew it. I just know it'd be great. Playing one of the best bigs in the country in Hunter. You got Brooks coming back. Then you got a lot of other guys returning. You got Chase Howard and those guys like that. So just playing with those freshmen, man. Just playing with Frankie. Me and him, I know we're gonna work good together. Just and getting him more experience. He a freshman, so that's my job. Coming in leader, getting the freshmen going. Just helping them understand that it's gonna be adversity, ups and downs, but always keep your head high. And just Juwan Howard, Howard Isley, Sadi, Phil, just that coaching staff, man. I feel like it was just a best fit. I know they can develop me into the NBA player I want to be. Juwan Howard and Howard Isley been at that level for so many years. So I feel like it was a no-brainer. No disrespect to all the other coaches, Penny Hardaway, Mark Adams, Coach Beard, they did a great job of recruiting me. I just felt like Juwan Howard and those guys just were a better fit.
So we're gonna get a lot more into Michigan to wrap this up, but I did want to go through your story a little bit because you have a crazy journey to this point. You haven't always been a guy that had every college in the country wanting. You haven't always been a guy that people thought would have an NBA dream someday. So let's kind of head back to the story. You're originally from Louisiana, New Orleans to be exact. What was it like growing up out there?
It's different. It's very different. You gotta have tough skin to be able to live in New Orleans. You're not gonna hear you're gonna see some things you don't want to see as a kid. You're gonna hear a lot of things you're not supposed to hear as a kid. So it's just all about having that tough skin. I feel like a lot of kids out in New Orleans, we just gritty. We got a different play style than a lot of people. We never given nothing. We always put a chip on our shoulder, and that's the way I like it. We self motivated. The football, you got Leonard Fournette, the Tyrann Matthews, Leonard Fournette just won a Super Bowl. So to come out of New Orleans, we just love to people around. We've been doing it. We're going to continue to do it.
I feel like there's something special about guys that come from there because a lot of guys that do end up making it now, especially at least for athletes, like it's the superstars. You just mentioned Tyrann Matthew, Jared Butler, obviously is from out there yourself. Other young guys have been coming, like Arch Manning, obviously, Chris Lockett, those type of guys. Like, what's it about? Like, when guys do make it out, when you talk about an athlete that does make it to the Division One level, why do you guys always become so special? Like, why when you guys get the bigger stage, you guys all of a sudden blow up and really make a huge name for yourself?
We talented. That's what we just. I feel like the city of New Orleans, just the state of Louisiana as a whole, we just very overlooked. We're very talented. We work hard. Like we really, when they say work in the trenches, I feel like New Orleans is the definition of that. Like we really be in the trenches working. Like it's crazy because all the talented guys, we all work together during the summer. So it's like we be talking to each other like, man, we better than this. We better than this dude. Like we like a big family. So once we do get to that stage, it's like it's basketball to us. It ain't no big pressure. We ain't worried about the crowds. We love that. We feed off that. We love all that. We love the negativity. We love hearing the people in the back saying this, that. We just that's what we feed off of. Like I said, being from New Orleans, man, you gotta have tough skin. You gotta be different. Like we used to people down us. So it's like once we get to that big stage, it's like, all right, we're gonna prove them wrong again. We've been proving wrong my whole life. We're gonna just do it again.
Now, when you were a guy going through AAU and you obviously travel outside the state or for high school, and you ended up leaving your senior year for your extra year of high school, and then obviously throughout college, like when you go out there and you're in a different state representing New Orleans and Louisiana, like what comes with that? Like, what's it like representing your state?
I feel like a lot comes with that. Cause it's like you gotta put on for your city. That's how we said you gotta put on for your city. Like when we travel, we gotta bring our hard hats. That's it's business. We're not
Mhm.
coming to make friends. We're not coming to do none of that. We come straight business. Like that's how it is in New Orleans, man. We don't go city to city to make friends. Like we never been a friendly type. Like we go on there. We think about business. Like we come in and take everything y'all want. We gonna take it. That's just how it is. Like we ain't coming in to play fair. Like we're gonna be gritty. We're not gonna be dirty, but we're gonna be gritty. We're gonna be dogs, and we'll be energetic. We always gonna stand out the pack. Like we never want to be in the pack. We always want to stand out. We never want to fit in.
So let's kind of go through your high school career a little bit. Obviously, a lot of people are familiar with your final 2 years, your upperclassmen years. You had an incredible season out there, all district team, great stats. Obviously, didn't take the extra year at Notre Dame Prep, but kind of go overview of your high school career. Like, take us through the ups and downs of your high school career.
Oh yeah, my high school career. It was. I feel like it was good. I had a great coach, Mitchell Johnson, an assistant coach. Current Forges. Those guys. They pushed me, personally because they always knew that I'd be where I'm at right now. So, I appreciate those guys believing in me. I still stay in contact with both of them. More of Mitchell Johnson, just because he got a good relationship with Juwan Howard. So,
Mhm.
um, just being in high school, I play with a talented player, well, talented players, but I got to stand out is Caleb Daniels. The guard at Villanova, man, played together my junior and senior year. So just playing around him, it made it a lot easier for me, having that one special player to lean on whenever I ain't having a good night. And if he having a good night, I'm just gonna lean on him. So it was good. It was a good experience, man. Just playing against a different type of level. Just different in sizes. You got the tall guards and small guards. So I feel like all that just helped me, get ready for this level, this stage, knowing that you're gonna see small, scrappy guards, you're gonna see tall, linky guards, but you gotta learn how to be yourself. No matter what size you're playing against. You can't let a taller guard, mess you up on your shots or what you're trying to get to, and you can't let a scrappy guard, steal the ball from you or speed your pace up. So I feel like my last 2 years in high school, really just helped me and just get ready for this moment that I'm about to, get ready for in Michigan.
Now, if I were told you heading into your freshman season or even after your freshman year that you're eventually going to become a guy that's going to play Division I basketball and you're going to have an incredible career, win Conference Player of the Year, all that, and then you're going to get the opportunity to become an NBA player potentially, but also go play for a program like Michigan, play for a guy and Coach Juwan Howard, like, could you have seen that in your future? Would that have ever been something that you saw coming for you?
Yeah, I'm not. But the part about playing for Michigan with John Howard, that I never seen that. I never seen
Mhm.
that coming. But me, just being all conference, freshman year, player of the year, all that, I envisioned that. Like I
Mhm.
seen that. A lot of people didn't see it, but like me and my close circle, that's why we was in the gym, early morning, late nights. That was always the motivation to prove everybody wrong. Me come out of high school, nobody thought I'd be this, nobody thought I'd be that. I was a zero star. So I use that. I use that as motivation. Like I was, I'm actually happy that I was overlooked because it motivated me so much. It was like, man, I can't get comfortable. Even and when I got comfortable at being uncomfortable. So it's like I'm
Mhm.
6'1". I tell small guards all the time, man, what are you gonna do to stand out? And for me, I can score at all three levels. I can rebound at a high level, and I also can get a lot of steals. Just the IQ for the game. So just for small guards, man, I just always try to tell those guys, man, just be different, man. Never trying to follow nobody else's footsteps. I know you want to be similar to NBA players and guys like that, but always, find yourself first. Be the best version of yourself. And that's gonna take you a long way.
That's one of the things I want to touch up on is your style of play because for those that truly have watched you play, everyone knows that you get the job done, you pass, you at a highly light rate, you're able to score all three levels, but it's much different than a lot of guys. Your shot's a different form, you obviously pass a different way. Like you play your own style. It's not really too similar to many different guys. So walk us through like your style of play. What does the DeVante Jones game style kind of look like?
Um, I feel like it's hard to describe my game. I just know that I'm a dog.
Mhm.
both sides of the floor. Definitely trying to become a two-way player. That's just the goal of mine. But I feel like if you come watch me play, you're gonna see a dog with a lot of energy on both sides. Um, I this last past season, I feel like a lot of people got confused on like the type of player I am. A lot of people feel like I want to score first, but that's really not the case. I was put in that position just because if I didn't score, we wouldn't win. It wasn't no secret about that. But I just feel like the real DeVante Jones game style is pass first and score within the flow of the game. Like I never want to force no shots, none of that. I just want to play within the game and just score and pick my spots from the score. But like I said, pass first, scrappy on defense. I want to guard the best player, hold him to under his scoring average, turn him over a lot. For a guard, I want to rebound a lot. I feel like I'm like a Westbrook when it comes to rebounding, just having a knack for the ball, knowing where it's gonna be at, just bringing that energy, man. I feel like it's my game. Energy, just it's the passion for me. I feel like you can't coach that. I have a lot of passion for this game. I love this game, and I'm gonna keep loving this game. And when I stop loving it, that's when I'll be done with it.
Now, this is kind of fast forwarding a little bit, but in terms of this upcoming year, obviously we don't know exactly what your stats will be, but could we see something more similar to what your sophomore slash junior year was? Obviously, coming out there and average like 17, 6, and 6 type of numbers. Like, you think the assist numbers would be a lot higher? Like, what kind of the expectations for yourself for this year at Michigan?
Um, to be honest, I really want to go out there and average the most assists I can. Like, that's my goal.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like scoring that's going to come with any program I go to, but I'm gonna try to do a better job of just finding my spots and scoring within the flow of the game and not trying to force anything. I got a lot of talented guys around me, so it's like I'm looking to average 10 assists. That's just my opinion. 10 assists, so get my rebounds and score here and there. Like I don't want to be a I don't think I have to score 19 points a game. I know that's probably gonna drop a little bit. I'm not worried about that. I just want my assists to go up. I know I can average at least 7 assists around these kind of group guys who I know can make shots. No knocking Coach Carolina. I know those are some talented guys too. But just being at this level, I know guys gonna knock it down on a consistent basis. So definitely coming in, definitely more assists, rebounds, around the same. Points might drop a little bit. I definitely want to do the same with steals. Average like 2 or 3 steals a game. The most important goal for me is the team goal. I want to win conference championship, and I also want to win Final Four and just win a national championship. That's the main goal.
Absolutely. Going back to your story a little bit, like you mentioned not getting all the offers you want, you weren't getting all the talks, you weren't ranked. Like I know obviously we see that story for a lot of guys. Obviously, probably the most notable one as of late has been John Morant. We know the Damian Lillard story, we know CJ, we know Steph. Like those stories are great. But everyone just talk about that as a great story, but truly being the guy that's living through that, it had to be hard at times for you, I can imagine. Like, did you ever get down on yourself? Did you ever start wondering, like, is this what God meant for me? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, did you struggle with that through high school?
Oh, throughout high school and college, honestly. But just seeing what those guys did, it was always that voice in the back of my head, like DJ, like don't give up, like you almost there, like you know what I'm saying. So I was definitely motivated, man. Just seeing those guys do what they did at the level I was at, it's like, man, anything's possible. So I had some dark moments. I had a lot of dark moments, especially in college. I think it was my freshman year, the first time I broke a bone in my foot, and I was out for like 6 to 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That hurt me bad. Just like I just didn't understand like why God did this to me. Like I got to the point where I was questioning God. Like that's the crazy part. I was questioning God. Then the year after that, sophomore year, I broke another bone in my foot. But I did that during the summer, so I was just like, no, I can't do this. I'm done. I'm done. But then my close circle, they talked to me. I also talked to Alpha Pay, the point guard for the Knicks. He just told me, man, listen, God got a plan for you. Your story gonna be different. It always been different. You no star, no overlooked. You gotta go to prep school. Like my route was always different from the next man. So once my junior year came, I got player of the year. So then when that happened, I was like, yeah, like God know what He's doing with me. I never question God again. Even when I do get some bad moments, man, I just gotta keep my head down and pray and just push forward.
So at what point in your career now would you say it started clicking for yourself and you started saying, I'm starting to see this whole path and like I'm starting to feel confident. I see what God wants me to do. This is the right journey. Like this is what it's meant for me. Like when did that all kind of come to clear air for you?
I'll say after my sophomore season that summer,
Mm-hmm.
I had probably one of the best summers like individually that I ever had. Like I was so locked in. like I was so motivated because my sophomore year I made second team our conference, but it's like I was averaging like 17, 6, and 5. And I was like, okay, I see what's going on. So that just motivated me. And it's crazy because I told my coaches and my parents, like I said, I'm gonna get player of the year. Like that's it's I'm gonna get that because I'm so motivated to like I've been overlooked my whole life. Now it's time for me to go take something. Like I was always waiting for it to be handed to me, and I
Mhm.
just wanted to go take that. So my junior year came, I had probably the best season I had at Coastal. Averaging 19, 7, and 3 with 3 steals, then top 2 in steals in the nation. Top like 32 with points. So it's like everything started coming together, especially that my sophomore summer, man, because I was just so motivated, so dedicated, and so I was so inspired, bro, just by just little things around me. I was getting inspired just by little things. Like it wasn't just basketball stuff. It was stuff off the court that was inspiring me. My mom, my dad, I promised them that I'd go to the league and take care of them for life. So that kept me motivated. It just so I'm motivated by everything. Like, but I'm also self-motivated. Like I never cheat a rep. Never. I always do extra before I do less. Like I always work out for the next man. Like if I got teammates and I know they're going out, I'm gonna do extra reps for them. Like, that's just how I'm built now.
I was going to do defensive side because that's something that's obviously a huge piece to your game. And we know that obviously for some guys, yeah, being super long arms or super tall can help on defense. But end of the day, the biggest thing behind defense is your mentality, is your heart for the game. And you proved that multiple times. So would you say that's kind of self-instilled? Was that because of where you grew up? Like did New Orleans kind of help get you that and grow you into that defensive player? Or where did that defensive knack kind of come from?
Uh, Honestly, I can say that came from a lot of people just telling me I can't play defense. Like I took that personal. Like I felt like a lot of people felt like I just wanted to score, and that's the biggest insult for me because that's the opposite of me. Like I always want to see my teammates shine before I shine. Like that always been my goal. But like the defense part, man, I hate getting scored on. Like you get scored on, the person that's scoring you gonna talk trash. And I just said no, I can't, that don't sit right with me. Like that really be killing me inside. So it's like,
Mhm.
nah, DJ, go study some film on Pat Bev. Go study some film on Kawhi Leonard. Just study film on all those guys that really play defense. So I did a lot of studying film and just seeing how they guard the defender, how they shoot gaps. I took all that and I just I pictured it. I just took like a photograph of memory and I just took it with me, to college, and it helped me out so much. Just understanding that, film is the biggest teacher. Watching film on my opponents, I understood what they wanted to do, understood like what passes they were gonna make. So it was so easy for me this year. So it's just the film thing, man. I give credit to film, also New Orleans too, but just being doubted that I could play defense also motivated me as well.
Last thing I want to touch up on about Louisiana is I want you to give us the DJ top five starting lineup of guys from Louisiana that played in college basketball last year. So they can be anyone from a freshman to senior year. Anyone that's from the state of Louisiana that played college basketball last year, you can put your name in that group if you want. You don't have to put your name there. Whatever your top five is, your list. Give us your top five starting lineup from Louisiana.
All right, so my top five, we're gonna be a very small team. So I'm playing 4 guards.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be at the one.
Mm-hmm.
You got Jared Butler at the 2, Javante Smart at the 3. I'm gonna put Tyreek from Texas Tech at the 4, a big guy, and put Mark Battle at the 5.
Mm-hmm.
And my bench, I put, Dejan Giroux out of Houston, Bryson Gresham out of Houston. I'll bring Brandon Rachel from Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Laganya, he played on my team at Coastal, and the last guy I would say will have to be Caleb Daniels from Villanova.
So if you were to take that group though and you put them against all these other states in the country, like where are you guys gonna rank yourself at?
Oh, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number one. We two, I feel like we're too talented. We all gonna play defense, and we all know how to score the ball. Then we got those hustle guys, the guys that love the rebound. So I just feel like we'll be number one for sure.
And for a lot of people that look at that list, you're talking about Baylor, obviously national champions. You're talking about Houston, Final Four. Yourself going to go to Michigan. I think you guys are going to win a lot of games this year. Like all these guys win a lot of games. You kind of discussed the winning mentality a little bit earlier, but what comes with it? Like how does New Orleans and Louisiana kind of establish that winning mentality in guys?
I think I have to credit to a lot of coaches through New Orleans because they do a lot of winning in New Orleans. They do a lot of winning in that area. It just the practices be so different. Like they pride us on just winning, like just being a dog. I feel like being a dog can bring you a long way, especially with the mentality of, oh, you're the best. Like it just it's just you can't teach that. You can't teach heart. I feel like New Orleans we got a lot of dogs, so you can't teach heart. You can't teach dog. You can't teach that passion and that competitive nature. You just can't teach that. And we got all that. Like that's how we bred it. Like cause we know that we know we overlook. So it's like when we get that chance, man, we gotta make the best of it. So we always ready for that opportunity when it hit. So that's why, like, whenever I seen Jerry perform how he was performing, Dejon Drew from Houston, the way he performed through the Final Four, like I was never surprised because like we was always taught to be ready for those moments, and when those moments came, them boys excelled at a high level. And I'm proud of them for that.
So let's go into that extra year you got to take. You go out to Notre Dame Prep for your extra prep year. What went into that decision, and how did that help prepare you for college?
Um, I just feel like I didn't want to go to college and have the red shirt because I wasn't ready. Even though I ended up red shirt anyways because of injury, but I was telling myself, man, I don't want to waste no years. Like, so I knew I wasn't ready body wise. So I was like, let me go to prep school. Let me try to get my body right. And let me show like these coaches that haven't looked at me that I can perform at a high level. So I went to Notre Dame Prep. It was the hardest thing ever. Living in the house with 14 other guys. You gotta share rooms. Um, you gotta basically cook your own food. I didn't know how to cook, so I struggled with that. Then I'm in a cold in Boston. It's snowing. You can't really go nowhere because the streets are ice, and we didn't have our cars anyway. So it's like that Notre Dame Prep environment really set me up for all the work. So it's like if I go to school and it's like if I had adversity, like I always come out on the other side, on the top, because I'd have been through all of it already. I'd have been through everything. I'd have been through, just the not playing or have to sit on the bench with, just knowing that it was guys in front of me. I knew I was better than them, but just the coaches was, they liked those guys because their name was bigger. So it's like I'm always motivated. Notre Dame Prep just helped me out more because I had to create bonds with guys that I didn't know. I had to share minutes with guys, but it also taught me that when you go in those situations, man, you got to stand out. I went to Notre Dame Prep and I stood out. I was a dog, so I got the opportunity to play at a high level. I came out. I was recruited a little bit, and now I'm on my way to Michigan. So just it's every like I said, God got a plan for me, and it's all working out so far.
Let's go into that recruiting process because you're going through that process. You obviously choose Coastal Carolina, and if we're being honest, we know it's not like a place where we're going to see tons of NBA guys coming out of every single season. But that
Yep.
is cool stuff. You talk about that. You've always had the dream of playing in the NBA, and now you set yourself up to eventually have an opportunity to go through the process. We'll talk about that a little bit again too. But like, what went to Coastal Carolina? Like, why was Coach Ellis and this program able to win you over?
First of all, it was the environment. In New Orleans, we don't have a beach, so that was my first time ever seeing a beach, and I was just amazed how good the water looked. They got like a little strip next to the beach where it's like a lot of big buildings, a lot of activities you can do, and plus, like the main reason I went to Coastal was because of Patrice Days. That was a guy I built a relationship with like 4 years prior to me going to Coastal. Like, he recruited me at every college he was at, so me building that relationship with him and him building a relationship with my parents, like it made all the difference. Because to be honest, if he never went there, I probably never went there. I probably never went there either. So him going there, it was like, man, okay, I got a guy in the system I can trust, and they're telling me they're gonna put the ball in my hands as a freshman. So I was like, okay, it's a no brainer. I gotta take this. It's a small level school, but let me get my stuff established here first, and then see where I can go from there. So that's why Coastal was a perfect fit for me.
I want to discuss your relationship with Coach Ellis because obviously to be a guard that he trusts as much as he did with you the past 4 years. How'd you guys bond grow? Like, what was it like from the day one when he started recruiting you to today? Like, how did you guys' relationship grow over that time?
Coach Ellis kind of old, man. So his recruiting style is a lot different from a lot of guys now. He not really he don't really do too much talking when it comes to the recruiting process. So he has like his assistants, like I said, Patrice Days, Benny Moss. He has those guys, do our recruiting because he trusts those guys. But me and Coach Ellis had a great relationship. We bumped heads a little bit, but I feel like what point guard and what coach don't bump heads? Like I feel like you'll never have a perfect relationship. Like he gonna see something, and I'm gonna see something, but I'm gonna always respect him and his decision. I'm always move to his decision, and I feel like he's definitely right because he's a Hall of Fame coach. Like, and I'm very coachable. Like I always listen to my coaches, my teammates. So now, Coach Ellis, man, I love Coach Ellis. He taught me a lot. Um, he was on me in practice. Whenever I messed up, he made sure everybody know it. Cause he didn't want to feel like he was showing favoritism to me. So I love coach. He put a big target on my back early. Make sure that, man, I stayed on my grind. I took my book serious. He cared about me having a good grade as well. So I just respect Coach Ellis and everything he did for me while I was at Coastal.
Now on paper, it looks like you just always click like right off the bat because you have to have your redshirt freshman year. You go out there and have multiple 30-point games. You're going 10 plus. You're starting majority of the season. But when would you say to click? Like when did you start understanding his style? Really clicking with like a kind of you guys were all on the same page. Like when did that all come together for you two?
I would say that came together late my freshman year because, like I said, I missed half the beginning of the freshman year. Like I played the first two games and I had to sit out. So when I came back for that conference, I feel like everything, just really came together. We just understood each other. He understood what I can do, because I did it in practice so many times. So he was like, DJ, you got there and you play your game. If I got out of control, he'd tell me to slow down a little bit. But he always wanted he always wanted the ball in my hands. He trusted me with that. And that's why our relationship was so good because I trusted him, he trusted me. Like if I seen someone on the court, like I'll change the play up and he'll trust me to do that because he know that I got the IQ for it. So yeah, man, probably the end of my freshman year, and it just grew from there. It just grew from there. I got more freedom because I put more work in. So the more work I put in, the more he trusted me. So that was the secret ingredient for us to be how he was me working overtime.
So your freshman year, as you mentioned, you go out there and you ultimately didn't want to do this, but you ended up having a red shirt that season. And this is something where a lot of guys get put in that position. Obviously, you're struggling with guys you mentioned earlier, but a lot of guys you basically tell yourself, okay, I got a year without being able to play. How do I improve myself? Like, what were the things you took away from that? Did you grow in any area? Like, what were the things you improved on off the court? Like, how did you better yourself during that redshirt year?
It was just adversity, man. But like I said, Notre Dame Prep, like that's the biggest adversity I could have went through. So it's like I was okay with had me having to sit out. At the beginning, no, I was struggling. Like the first 2 weeks, I struggled. It's like I was in such a dark place. But it's like as more and more I started understanding, like man, it's a plan. God has a plan. So it's like when I was out, I just worked on my body a lot. I was working out a lot. Just trying to get my body right. Watching a lot of film. Just understanding like how I can grow in those areas. All the first two games I played, so it was just a lot, man. Just trying to get a better feel for the game. College space different. Just my body. Just being able to withstand. The 40 minutes. A lot of bumps, a lot of bruises. Um, and also just building a better relationship with my guys. When I got hurt, those guys, they was in my corner, man. So I had to do the same for them. I feel like me being down, sad for myself, man. It was selfish of me. So I had to shake back, just showing them that same love they showed for me. I got to show it to them. So when it was playing, even if they win or lose, man, I was just telling those guys, listen, we on to the next one. I was telling each guy like individually like what they could do better, and they listened. So it was a great experience. After now that I think about it, me getting hurt, I feel like I needed that. It helped me. It made me more mature, quicker than usual. So I learned a lot from being hurt early.
We're really going to get into faith on the end of this to wrap it up, but when you mentioned, I kind of want to get to a little bit right now too, because a lot of guys that are believers, you obviously know that there's going to be ups and downs in the relationship with God. It's not just a perfect, always going to be high up in this cloud kind of thing. Like you're going to go through the struggles when you're in your faith with God. But how did you trust God? Like, were you strong in your faith when you went to that issues in your freshman year? Did that make you stronger with God, or who kind of established that relationship with God in your life?
Um, my parents definitely established it with me. They took me to church when I was a young kid. Because at first I thought church was like I didn't really believe in it. Like I didn't believe in a God. I didn't believe in none of that. But when I went to church, and started hearing the different scriptures, different Bible verses, just hearing the preacher preach, and it was like, man, no, like the preacher's so passionate about what he's saying. It's like, all right, okay, let me think about what he's saying. Let me read this Bible. Let me really understand what's going on. So and it just carried on. So college, I feel like college was the deal breaker though when I actually like really started, praying more. Because that, like I said, that was my first time ever getting injured. I was in a real dark place. Like I wanted to give up. Like I wasn't understanding what I was doing. But I was like, God, why me? Like, why you keep doing this to me? Because I feel like me being overlooked is one thing. Not me getting hurt is another thing. But I feel like me me getting hurt, but it brought me so much closer to God. Cause I was praying every day, night, morning. I would pray sometimes throughout the day. It was it was amazing. Cause I feel like whenever I prayed, man, something good happened. And I feel like whenever I didn't pray, I go back a few steps. So it's just like I'm consistently praying, talking to God, just having conversations with Him. It ain't just like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It's like 10 minutes. Me just sitting up, lights off on my knees, just talking, just venting to Him. I just feel like, man, just having faith in God, man. I feel like it changed a lot of people's lives. Obviously, different people got their different opinions about it, but if you had to ask me, man, just that's the biggest thing for me. Believing in God really changed my life, man. Just it's bringing so much positive that I never thought I could have. So I'm just thankful to have them.
The non-believers that might be listening to this, or just non-believers in general, like when someone might say, like, well, how are you getting close to God? He just went through an injury. You're not playing the way you want. You're not out of school you probably dreaming of. But you said, like, obviously, like, are you closer to God? You're stronger in your faith now. How does that work?
Like you said, a lot of people gonna say I went through injury and stuff like that, but it ain't about it ain't really about how it go when you're going through the process. It's about how you is when the process is over. And if you really look back at my story, like I always grew. Like even though when I took a step back, I always grew from it. Like I started at coach, had injuries. A lot of people said, "Oh, he's done. He'll never, get a freshman year." I came back and got freshman year. Second year I came back, got hurt again. A lot of people said, "Oh, he's gonna have a bad year." I averaged 17, 6, and 5. Even though I got second team on conference, a lot of people think I wouldn't do that because I started with an injury. Then my third year I have one of the best seasons ever, and I get player of the year. And now I got a chance to test the waters. A lot of people never thought I'd be able to do that. And now I'm going to one of the best programs in the country at Michigan, with Juwan Howard and Howard Isley, NBA vet. So it's like, the proof is in the pudding. Like y'all can, a lot of people gonna say, man, you got injured, all that stuff. But like, look at me now. Like y'all can't tell me like God don't work. Like this ain't just me. Like this is like God. This is me. This is my mom, dad, everybody around me. Like it's we all a family. Like if we can't, even if you can't personally hear God, you can feel Him. I can feel God. Like so, it's just like, man, if you don't believe in Him, just watch Him work. Pray, just watch Him work.
Amen, man. Well, let's head in that year. You get back on that court then. You end up having, he said, a Sun Belt freshman of the year. Obviously, a huge blessing, but there's a few games I want to touch up before we discuss winning that award. And one of which is going up against West Virginia. And this is where guys that truly know the game of basketball know that if a guy's able to produce at that level against a team like Coach Huggins and what he produced out there with those veterans, you're a freshman. You dropped 32 points on them. How are you able to do that and just take us to that night?
Like it go back to me being from New Orleans. Like once we get the opportunity, you gotta take advantage. And I was talking to my assistant coach about that. They was like, DJ, they got y'all predicted to lose by like 20 plus. And I said, okay. And I use that as motivation. So just going to that game, man, I was so loose, so calm. Like going to the stadium, I ain't gonna lie, like I feel like the ground was shaking, like it was so loud. I was like, man, this is a crazy environment. So me just going to that game, I think I hit my first 2 shots. I was like, yeah, it's over. Like then my teammates started making shots. So it was just like, but it was so easy. I was so confused. I was like, is they playing serious or just like I was so confused. Like it was so easy. So it's like honestly, that game really helped me make this decision I just made about Michigan. Because I was like, if I play at that level, like, and I was so small, I wasn't really athletic. I didn't have the IQ I have now. So it's like, man, I know if I go there now, like to like the Michigan, I know that a lot of people gonna say, there's no way a Sunbelt player can come to this stage and produce. I just can't wait to prove them people wrong again.
You kind of just led me to our next question, but you had another 30-point game then against Louisiana Monroe that year too. But talking about that's a little bit different. Like when you're going against this team, like Coach Huggins type of team and in West Virginia, and you drop 32 on them, how much more confidence is that instilling yourself for then you're not only that freshman year, then your sophomore and junior year, and even now today?
A lot of confidence. Because a lot of people said, at coach you're not gonna play no competition. So that opportunity we had to play against, a Power Five, is amazing. Then me, like that's being that team, man. It just created so much motivation. But like, how I play against them, I just knew that I had a chance with this thing. So it's just like I took that game and I stayed motivated. Like I didn't get comfortable. I used that and use that motivation to keep building and just get better from there.
So you guys finished up 17-17, right at 500 mark, and you like you said, you come away with Sun Belt Freshman of the Year, and that had to be a huge thing for you, like to walk away knowing that you made it, you're Freshman of the Year now. What kind of went through your mind like, when you found out that you won that award? Take us through how you learned about that.
Oh, winning the freshman of the year. It was a blessing. Like I can't say, but it's crazy. I don't want to say I was surprised, but like me and my coach talk about everything. Like we plan our stuff out. So it's like, all right. So he told me before the season started. Like even when I was hurt, he said you still gonna get freshman year. So I was like, how? He's like, man, you got to trust God. He really put God in me like every day. Like he send me scriptures every day. He read to me. He'll call me on the phone or put me on like a little Zoom call with, they got like the little scripture stuff. So it's like, and we work so much. Like me getting hurt, it just added more fuel to the fire that was already, burning. So it's like, I just took that injury, man. The injury did a lot for me, and just I came back with a vengeance. I wanted to beat every team that beat us while I was hurt. I just came back. I know a lot of people saying he can't come back and do this. So I prayed, I stayed down, I believed in the process. And I came back and had a lot of big games. And those big games ended up leading me to win freshman year. And that was just a big blessing.
Then it's heading your redshirt sophomore season, theoretically your junior year of schooling, obviously, but you guys go one game under 500, 16-17, but you overall increase your numbers drastically. 17 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, nearly 3 steals per game, all Sun Belt second team. Walk us through that sophomore year a little bit.
The sophomore year, it started off bumpy. No, actually, no, it started off great, then got bumpy. We lost one of our key players, Ibrahim Adiba. He had a MCL injury, he's out for the rest of the season. So once he got out, it put so much, weight on my shoulders, and I didn't really adapt to that until like later in the season because I was feeling bad for myself that like, man, like who I'm gonna lean on now that I ain't got my sidekick with me. But as the season kept going, I just felt like, man, if I don't get myself together, we're gonna lose every game that we got coming up. So it started in practice. I became a leader, talking to my guys, just preaching to them, building confidence in them because I know I'm gonna need them to win. So it was a great experience for me, even though the season didn't go how I wanted to. I gained experience as a leader. I matured. Um, I built relationships with my coaches that I never thought I'd build as just a sophomore. So that year was great for me, man. And I also built confidence throughout the year, playing more point guard, more. I also had to score, rebound, had to do a little bit of everything. So it just got comfortable for me.
Let's head into this breakout season, the one that just won you Player of the Year in the Sun Belt. And this is an opportunity where you see COVID come into effect. And I know a lot of guys have said that COVID was a horrible thing, no doubt about that. But for basketball players and a lot of people, like it could have been a blessing in disguise if you used it in the right way in terms of the offseason when you guys were in quarantine. So how did you use that? Because clearly you come out and have your career year. How was this quarantine process and you working out during that past summer and off season? How would you improve on it? How that get you ready for your breakout season?
I just took advantage of a lot of opportunities I know people gonna have excuses for. A lot of people is gonna say, "Man, the pandemic, I can't work out like I want to." Me, I still work out every day. I had my individual trainer. We had our mask with our hand sanitizer, and we just went to work. I took advantage of my shot. Just reading ball screens. Getting to my spots and making those shots. Floaters. Being crafty around the rim. I did a lot of agility work. A lot of conditioning. I just took advantage of it, man. 'Cause I knew once the pandemic hit, like officially hit, a lot of people were gonna say, "Man, I couldn't go to a gym. All the gyms was closed. I didn't have a mask, or my trainer got corona." It's like even when I didn't work out with my trainer, I always did something on my own time. So it's like I said, I really took advantage of every day, every second. Just understand that, man. This because my coach is telling me, man, if you have one of these a great year during the pandemic. Well, like a year, like a year like no other, like we never seen a pandemic before. So I just had to take advantage of that, and it helped me out a lot. It gave me a lot of recognition. I got a lot of attention off having one of these great years. I was on Lou Henson watch. I was on Naismith Defense Player of the Year. So man, it was just a blessing, man. This year was very good to me, and it's crazy because like next year I really plan on capitalizing. Even though my numbers might not be higher, but I want to win. Me winning and having like similar numbers, that's just as great as me having big numbers and losing, to be honest. So it's all about winning.
Now, something I got tired of, a lot of general fans and people that looked at the season and said, "Oh, it's just a fake year, guys. Might not, the stats might be inflated. Teams that are good this year might actually be good." But those that truly realize, especially you guys as players, recognize and say, this year is harder than any year I've ever played before. Like when you're talking about the COVID testing, you're talking about shut down one day, having to come back 2 weeks later for some guys, 2 months off, then you come back and play. So how are you able to prevail through that? How are you able to come out and have this year amongst a pandemic and all the distractions and all the other people off the court?
It was difficult. Because like you said, like you never know like when the next game gonna be. You never know like when the next practice is gonna be because everything could be canceled. Like on a snap like that, like you said, we gotta get tested every day, so you never know who got the virus, who don't have it. So it was very difficult. Luckily I was able to never get it. So it's like I always had access to the gym. And I feel like that's just part of the plan. God, I feel like it's God. Like He had a plan for me. Everybody on my team had the virus, but me. So like whenever they had the quarantine, like I was always able to get in the gym with my coach and work on my game. So I just like I had a step ahead of everybody. That's why I had the year I had because like I put a lot of work in. I never had to sit out for more than I had to sit out period. Like a lot of people had to sit out for like 14 days, 12 days. Like I never had to do that. Like I was always able to get a gym. I was smart enough to know not to go out, not to be around a large group of people. I always had my mask on, and I always stayed in the house. I wasn't in the house, I was in the gym. Like I was never partying, never doing that. Like I took this shit serious, like because it's a pandemic. Like you never know what to expect. And a lot of people didn't. A lot of people took that for granted. That's why a lot of people they had the years they wanted to have because they had to quarantine a lot. I was able to beat that. Didn't have corona. So I just gotta thank God. I feel like God did this one. He always blessed me, and I feel like now is my time to be blessed. Like I've been blessed all my life, but it's like now He's really showing it. Like He's really showing the world what hard work can do. Once you get over that hump, because I feel like God tested me early. He's like, man, okay, listen, we're gonna put you through some adversity and see what kind of character you is. Like that. That's just build my character. And now I feel like I'm slowly going to the top. And it's crazy because I got so much motivation left that I'm gonna keep going high. Higher and higher.
Absolutely, man. Well, there's two guys that came into this team that really made us probably one of the more special, talented teams with your time at Coastal Carolina. And one of them is Anthony. Obviously, he had a huge role. You guys played a great kind of dynamic duo down there in the backcourt. Then you got a big man that comes down low. That's a redshirt freshman, Esam. Like, how did those two guys help you produce at this level? And what was like just kind of adding them in this group?
Esam, both of them have done a lot, but I'm talking about Esam first. Esam came in. Esam one of the hardest workers I know. Me and him always talk. He looked up to me, and that motivated me. I always wanted him to get better. So whenever in practice, the freshmen get in practice, mess up, they put their head down. Once the coach started yelling, I said, "No, we ain't got time for that." He told me he wanted to be a pro. I said, "Listen, you want to be a pro? I'm gonna be tough on you than anybody else on this team." So whenever he was down, I always told him, "Listen, bro, let's go. Like get into that gear." Like, and he just always listened. Like he's very coachable. He's smart. He's intelligent. And he a workhorse. Like he always want to get better. He always in the gym with me. Like whenever he feel like he messed up, he always do that rep again. Like and that's one thing I loved about him. He made it a lot easier in the games. He finished around the rim. He got rebounds. He gave us extra possessions. He was a great ball screener. Getting me open. Getting other teammates open. And he just brought a lot of energy to the team. And speaking on DeAnthony Tipler, in my opinion, he's one of the best shooters in the country. Probably the best shooter in our conference by far. Um, he was out for a little bit, but when he was on the court with us, bro, it was so much easier. Teams couldn't really focus just on me because I had another scorer on the court. When he was making shots, man, it was the best feeling ever. Even when he was missing, it still was a good feeling because I know that he's gonna come back and make the next one. But I love to play with him. I play with him any day of the week. Like if I ever seen Tip and I had a chance to play with him, I definitely put him on my team because he's a shot maker. He's gonna give you effort. He's gonna give you energy. And he just want to win. So I love playing both of them guys. Both of them made me better, and I know I made them better for their next season.
You mentioned earlier too that this year you had to score more for you guys to be able to win the game, but your main thing is passing. But in terms of the scoring aspect, like this year you had 23 or 24 games, double digits. Obviously, the last two games you didn't as well. But besides those other two games, only one other game throughout the course of the year you didn't score double digits in. Was that something you think you always were capable of? Like if that was what you needed to do your freshman and sophomore year, could you have done that, or was that just because of the work you put in that you allowed for you to have that jump?
Oh no, I definitely feel like I always could score the ball because I always seen Steph score the ball, Ja, CJ, Dame Lillard, like those guys can pass. They definitely can score. That's what makes them such a threat. So it's like my coaches told me, man, at the NBA level, listen, if you're a point guard that can score the ball, you got an advantage. So that was just a helpful thing. Just knowing that I always worked on scoring. The only thing that was difficult for me was my mid range. I definitely worked on that a lot more. To work out, some plus, expanding my free. I think I shot like 20%. And this year I shot nearly 37% from three. So it's all in the work, man. I always feel like I've always been a scorer, but like I love passing because I love seeing my teammates, happy. Me seeing my teammates happy is just that's the biggest thing to me. Just love to see my teammates happy. So, but if I got to score, I definitely score. But I love passing first.
So we're got three more things about Coastal Carolina before we move on to your draft process. And one of those is, as we talked about earlier, you won Sun Belt Player of the Year. Incredible high honor, especially when you're talking about going up against a guy Mike Flowers, who also is a very special talent. But when you found out about winning that award, like when you learned about that, take us through how you learned about that and what your reaction was. And also, who was the first person you called after you found out about it?
It's crazy because 2 days before the award came out, my coaches they text me, but I already had changed my number, so I didn't see the text. So it's like the day I got the award, and I walked into the gym, my coach said, "Hey man, you got my text?" I said, "What text?" He's like, "You got Player of the Year." So when he told me that, man, I was happy. I was like, man, I said it's God again, like everything paying off. I'm staying the course, and God just keep blessing me, man. But the first person, it's crazy. I don't think I called nobody. I was so like emotionally struck that I won. It was like, man, I just stayed to myself. I stayed to myself, man. I just enjoyed that moment. I knew that next day I had to get back to work. So once I did find out, and I went home, I stayed in my room, I listened to some music, listen to some motivational stuff, and I prayed, man. I was emotional. I was just happy that my homework was finally being, recognized. Because, like I said, growing up, man, I was so overlooked, and now it's like all that recognition is finally coming, and I just felt so blessed to get that award.
So now you look back at all 4 years you're there. What's the first memory that comes to mind? It can be off the court, it can be in a classroom, on the court, practice, in a game. The first memory that you think of or your favorite memory from your time at Coastal Carolina, what is it?
West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
West Virginia. That game right there. Cause like we going to that game, like nobody felt like we was gonna win that game. Let alone we ended up winning the game by 20 plus. So it's like, and we ended up breaking the record for scoring at West Virginia. So it's like they came in and thought, man, these guys can't play with us. So we use that as motivation. And just going to that game, man. I know I was pumped up. I gave a little speech to my teammates before we went out there. I was like, listen, we can't get embarrassed. Let's go out there and embarrass them. So that's what we did. We went out there, won by 20 plus. Had like 108, 9, something like that. Like that was like the record for at West Virginia. So man, that was just a blessing itself, just going there and doing that.
Following how Coastal Carolina wrap up is when you look back at all your teammates you've now had over the past 4 years, who's the funniest teammate you had?
Oh, Hosanna Katinge, easy. He definitely the funniest teammate. He always got that high spirit, and he always find a way to keep his teammates, engaged. And he always give me a good laugh each and every day. So definitely Hosanna Katinge.
Without well, as you mentioned earlier too, now before you head to Michigan, you're going to go through this draft process, and this is something that, like you mentioned, is a dream of anybody, and you're on this opportunity to go out there now. So, kind of get to this, like, what are you looking forward to it for? What do you want to gain from it? Like, take us through your approach to the draft process.
Well, right now, I'm in Dallas with a lot of other high major guys, working out with Tim Martin, getting a lot of great work in, on the court, working out on our body, just, getting a different feel for the aspect of the game. So right now I feel like I'm doing great. I'm learning a lot on the fly. I'm expanding my range from 3-point line. Just being more crafty around the rim. Just understanding that attacking, angles of the ball screens. It's just a lot of things that I'm working on right now that's helped me through this process. And I just want to go into these team workouts, and just get good feedback. Even that they're telling me, oh, we'll take you now, or you go back to Michigan, or you have a great season, we'll take first round, whatever the case may be. I just want to hear some good feedback, and also I want to hear some things I need to work on. I know I'm not perfect. If I was, then one draft pick, but I just can't wait to hear what they tell me. I can't wait to go through those workouts just to see like where I fit at during the NBA workouts. So I just can't wait, man. I just know that this is it's inspiring. I know I'm inspiring a lot of small guards. And I just hope I can keep inspiring the little kids growing up that, man, anything possible we put the work in. So I just can't wait to finish this process and head at Ann Arbor.
Now, if you're able to go out there and do what you obviously expect to do out there at Michigan this upcoming season, you're in a good position because we see recently, the past few years now, a lot more respect has been given to guys that have been older players coming in the draft. We know for a long time it's been we want younger guys, older guys to get undrafted, but we see DeVante Graham, what he's turned into now. We see guys like Jalen Brunson, Monte Morris, Trey Burke, even like the list goes on now. Like a lot of these guys that are 3, 4, 5 year seniors that are coming in that are 22, 23, 24 years old are getting the opportunity, are getting drafted and panning out. So is that kind of the route you're looking to take? Like, what's the kind of players you might look at comparing yourself to? Like, just kind of walk us through that in terms of that aspect. Like, who's some guys that you kind of play a lot like that people kind of expect from you?
Well, the comparison that I get frequently is Fred VanVleet,
Mm-hmm.
but that also that's true. Though I like how NBA scouts are starting to notice that no matter our age, I feel like if we're older, I feel like we can come in and contribute like right away. Like we don't need 2 or 3 years to wait. Like we can come in right away and help organizations. So I watched a lot of film on Fred VanVleet. I watched Jalen Brunson. Just the way he maneuvers. With his slow pace game. It's effective. I got a comparison to the Chipola, something like that. I can't remember his name, but I got that comparison as well. So in me, it's just an honor to get comparison to NBA players. Because I guess they see me as an NBA guy. So that's just man, it's a blessing. So I'm just keep working. I'm gonna get comfortable with this before, but I gotta get comfortable at doing it. So like when it comes time in the game, I'm used to it. So I just can't wait.
Absolutely. Let's get back into this Michigan stuff because you had an interesting process too. You originally put your name in the portal, you pulled it back out, I think 2, 3, 4 hours, something like that later. Then you also do put your name back in terms of portal a couple of days later. But just kind of take us through all this, like going through this time in the portal, coming in and out of it, then obviously deciding to transfer out. You mentioned some of the schools that in the running for you, but just take us through the whole process that ultimately led you to Michigan.
Um. Okay, so when I first put my name in the portal, it wasn't a mistake. It just me and my coaches wasn't on the same page, so I took it out and just I talked to them. They wasn't happy about me leaving, but it's like we got on the same page, and then I told them, listen, this is the route I want to take. I appreciate you guys and everything you did for me. I'll never forget you guys for bringing in a guy from New Orleans that was overlooked and you gave me a chance. So, after we got on the same page, I put my name in the portal, and like the first 5 minutes, I feel like I got like 15 calls, quick calls. I talked to Georgia early, texting in them. Who else I talked to early? Arkansas, Ole Miss, Missouri, Oklahoma. I talked to a lot of schools early. Then that's when the Michigan popped up. Then Michigan, Oklahoma State. But Michigan just stood out to me. It just because once the world knew I was going to Michigan was recruiting me, like their fan base went crazy. Like I gained like 2,000 followers just off Michigan. This them showing love in me and just wanting me to come there, just excited about me coming there, man. It felt like home already, and me talking to some of the guys, Hunter DM me, I got close with Hunter, Jace Howard hit me up, Livers hit me up, Franz hit me up, I talked to Mike Smith, I talked to Xavier, just talking to those guys, man, it felt like home, and I ain't even had my foot on the campus yet, so I ain't gonna say it was a no-brainer, but I feel like it was a perfect fit for me, like you said, because Mike was leaving, and you got a talented freshman, Frankie, coming in, but Juwan Howard was looking for that veteran leadership, and that's why I come in at. And I know me and Frankie could complement each other. We might be in the game at the same time sometimes, we might not, but I know if I'm on that court, he gonna trust me. If he on that court, I'm gonna trust him. So Michigan just felt like the right place for me. And like I said, I'm under Howard Osley and Juwan Howard. I mean, it really don't get no better than that, especially going where I'm trying to go. So Michigan just felt like home.
Now, was there a number two option? Like, was it someone else that you really did like, and maybe if Michigan wasn't in play, you would have went there, or was Michigan just so far above every other school that there really was no other consideration for another school once you kind of figure out it was Michigan?
It's crazy because now that I think about it, after making a decision, the second team I would have considered wasn't even in my top four. Like I was really going to consider Oklahoma State, I talked to Cade, man. I picked his brain a little bit. And, Tyreek just committed there. I'm out here working with Tyreek right now. So it's like, me and him been playing together. I'm like, man, that would have been a crazy, 1-2 punch, him being a big and me being, point guard. We could have just, fed off each other. So Oklahoma State probably been my second option, to be honest. But if I had to go from that top 4 list, it probably would have been Texas. Probably would have headed to Texas. But I just didn't see myself at Texas or Tech or Memphis. Now that I think about it, it's because the systems were good, but I just didn't think me being a piece would match with other pieces around. I just thought Michigan was just a perfect piece. Team ball, not selfish. They understand each other's games. They love each other. It's culture. But no knock to Memphis, Texas, or Texas Tech. I love all 3 of those schools. Historic programs, great coaching. I just feel like I want to fit there. That's just my opinion. But I feel like Michigan was the best fit for me. But I pray that those other 3 schools and all the other schools that recruited me, I hope they have great seasons. And I hope, at Michigan I get to play every one of them schools. And I just hope I get to see that matchup against them.
Absolutely. Well, you keep mentioning Frankie, and now I've got to talk to you for a little bit. Obviously, I think you're going to be a perfect mentor for him as well. And I've known Frankie for a long time too. But you, as an older veteran now, has experienced this lifestyle. You're also going to go through this draft process a little bit too. Like, what's your advice to Frankie? How are you going to help mentor and guide him through this? Because he obviously comes in a little bit different story, high rank recruit, elite level player. But how do you mentor him, and what's kind of your advice to him throughout his college career now?
Yeah, like so coming with Frankie, like you said, high level recruited guy. So once he had that first bad game, he gonna like the fans will let him have it. The analysts, all those guys. So and I'm being a guy in his ear like Frankie, come on now, you run the best, freshmen in the country. So come on, you gonna have these games. If you watch other freshmen, you can watch the Cade Cunninghams, the Jalen Suggs, all those guys. They didn't have perfect seasons. They had great seasons, but they had games where it was like, man, they could have did better. They made a lot of mistakes. I'm gonna tell Frankie, listen, Frankie, this whole season, man, I know you don't want to hear this, but you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. It comes with the game. You're a freshman. There's a lot of things you need to learn. About the pace. You come from high school to Michigan. That's a different ball game. Like this pace is different, the size is different. It's gonna contest every shot at the rim. So I'm just gonna teach them everything that I can. A lot of people go in situations hating on one another. I'm not gonna hate. Like I want him to have a spotlight. I want him to do great. I want him to be a one and done. That's probably not gonna happen. We may never know. But me going into today, I want Frank to be the best Frank he can be. I don't want him to get caught up in the ESPN, the mock drafts too early. I don't want to get caught up in none of that. To focus on getting better each day at a time, and I'm being in his ear, making sure that he's not cheating on reps. Make sure if he's tired, he gonna push through that. And I know Frankie hard work. I know he'll never cheat no reps, but just me being that veteran, I've been through a lot, so I'm just gonna use all my knowledge and my wisdom and just give it to him while he's a freshman.
So we look at the landscape of the makeup of this team right now. We have you coming into the play as a veteran. A few returners come back, probably most notably, obviously, Hunter. He was one of the player of the year candidates, too. He's come back down low. Then you add in all these young pieces, number 1 ranked recruiting class. Also, a lot of the good young players that last year that didn't get much playing time that's going to get playing time now. All the guys on this roster that you see right now, how good can you guys be this year?
I feel like we'd be the best team in the country. I know that's a bold statement, but I just see that's where it fits. We got a lot of talent together. We got young and we got old. Like I feel like we got the best mixture, of talent. You got veterans to lead. So a lot of these freshmen ain't been in. Us veterans could be like, listen, calm down. We've been here before. We're gonna bring this home for us. Mm-hmm. Then you gonna have those games where like the young kids, they gonna be hot. So we're gonna feed off them. So it's just great to have that mixture. And on that, we got a lot of people that can put the ball in the hole. We got, we got the defense. We got all those things, man. Then we coach about great. We got the best of both worlds. So I just can't wait to get to it with these guys. And hopefully we have a national championship type season.
So what is it about Coach Howard? Everyone talks about him. Obviously, he's a former NBA player, the coach in the Miami Heat for a little bit. Like, he's a great guy, but we see what he's already done as a coach. We see what he's done in the recruiting landscape. What is it about him? Why is he so attractive to want to go play for him?
He's a great guy, man. Like when I first talked to Juwan Howard, I was just so speechless because I didn't understand how down to earth he was. Like he's so genuine. He cared about people winning. Like he just want to see us, especially his Black African American peers. We chase and dream, man. He want all our dreams to come true, man. He respected me when I told him I want to go through this process. He said, "Listen, DJ, we're gonna run this race until it's over. So him saying that, man, it was like a deal breaker. Him just understanding the process I'm going through. He said it helped me through the process. You know, he cares so much. It ain't just about basketball with him. It's about building a genuine relationship with people. He'd have built it with my mom, my dad. He building it with like my close people around me. So it ain't just me. Like he really care about me and my family already. So he's a great guy, a great genuine guy, man. I can't wait to play for him.
If you look at all of the stuff that comes along with DJ, everything about yourself, on, off the court, your own personality, what's one word that you could use to describe yourself? Like, what's that one word that defines who you are?
Different.
Mhm.
I just feel like I'm different. That's the best way I can put it. You know, when you see an athlete, you see a person like the party. It's like the no, like I'm different. Like I don't party.
Mhm.
I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do none of that stuff. I really just I work out every day. I take care of my body. And I go home and I chill. Like that's me. Like my days are boring, but it's like I know it all gonna pay off at the end. Um, I listen to Floyd Mayweather a lot. I see why he was so great because he worked out so much. He sacrificed a lot, and he just put the work in. And once he got to that point where it's like he just kept winning, he got a lot of money. Then he started, partying and stuff like that. But the work was already done. So it's like, um, I got to put the work in now, man, so I can live like a king later instead of me living like a king now. And later, it's like I ain't take advantage of the opportunity I was given. So, uh, I was just say I'm different, man. I just different.
So, man, something I was like wrapping up discussing is building a legacy for yourself. And we know the next chapter is at Michigan. And obviously, hopefully, have a pro career after that. But when the time does come, though, and you're done playing this game of basketball, what do you want to be remembered for what you achieved both on and off the court?
I just want to be known for being that guy that never let the adversity get to him. I've been through a lot of adversity, a lot of it. I broke a bone in my foot and both my feet. Freshman and sophomore year, man, I had to go to prep school. I was overlooked. Um, wasn't really recruited. It's crazy. Out of high school, I was considered going D2. Like my story is just so different. Like in that, and I don't want to sound cocky, but when I am in the NBA, I just can't wait to tell my story. Like I can't wait to like tell everybody my story. 'Cause I feel like a lot of people gonna be so inspired, so motivated, especially like the young kids, that small guards. Man, I know they're gonna be motivated, and I'm gonna show them that, man. Listen, I don't care how tall you is, they gonna put a narrative on you, and you do the opposite. They're gonna say you can't do this, you gonna work on it, then you're gonna do it. Like, it's all about proving them people wrong. Like them analysts and people, I'm not mad at them because they got a job to make stuff entertaining. So like when they do all that, it's motivation. You can't react to everything. You gotta just put your head down and go work. And that's the case for me.
Absolutely, man. We already discussed a lot about faith, but I do want to wrap up by asking a couple more questions about faith. So, when you talk about yourself now being a light and you have a huge platform now in Michigan, you're also going to get that platform when you go play professionally as well. How do you plan to go out there and spread the light? How do you plan to be a light to God's kingdom throughout your career?
Um, just let my voice be heard. I can't be that guy that sit back and just watch. I got to go out there and let my voice be heard. Just tell my story. Tell a little bit about my story, and just tell them how I got here. Just show him he blessed me. Like put me through tough situations. Like it's a saying like God give his strongest battle to the toughest soldiers. I feel like he gave me the toughest battle of them all. Like I had to fight through so much adversity, so many injuries, and just all the like I said, just me being overlooked. Like he built my character to be a dog, and it's crazy because like without him, I definitely wouldn't be here. So I just thank him each and every day for
Without a doubt, man. Well, a final thing for you, give Michigan fans your three biggest goals you have set for your Michigan career.
uh I plan on coming in, national championship, main goal, conference champions, and regular season champions. My three goals. I want to win it all. I want to sweep it.
Absolutely, man. Well, congratulations on the big move once again. Appreciate taking time to come on today, and I'm excited to see what God's got next for you, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Wish I was welcome on, man. God bless.
Yep. God bless.